Yeah, Salakia, phone had cut off. But as you can see from the picture, that accident was crazy. And it was all from the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. I'm gonna get a couple precepts and close out quick to the point. This is the book of Isaiah. I've been bringing this out lately as well because it really fits the theme for right now. Book of Isaiah chapter 19 verse 14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Yeah, and that's what's happening through the streets of Babylon, Babylon the Great, aka America. You know, all of these accidents that you've been seeing on the news. You know, not too long ago, there's an active shooter. You know, 2/3 been getting put to death. You know, that active duty cop, active duty army officer from Alabama getting shot in the mall. I believe his name is Amantic Bradford Jr. 2/3 Jake. So yeah, the spirit of vengeance and the spirit of judgment is heavy in the street. All from the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. He didn't try to flee the scene. Actually, before the scene of a vehicle accident in New York City, Reuters, Gina Moon. The man behind the wheel was identified as 70-year-old Henry Herman. He didn't try to flee the scene, and everything indicates that act was an accident. Police say Herman claimed he thought he'd put his car in park and hit the gas pedal. He now faces charges of failure to yield to pedestrians and failure to exercise due care. He remains under arrest. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio tweeted that an investigation is underway. So yeah, as you can see, the elderly starting to get it as well. You know? Which brings me to this. This is the book of Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of Jerusalem. It's like the midst of the city. Through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. You know, and you look up that word mark in the Hebrew, it means it says tawah, which means a mark and exemption from judgment. Because contrary to popular belief, when the Lord sends his angels out here, just like actually I'll get it real quick, 'cause I don't want to butcher it. When the Lord sends his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, back, this is what he's going to be doing. This is the book of Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Yeah, so there you go. Because pertaining to the book of Exodus, the 15th chapter, the Lord is a man of war. So he's going to be going through the town. And you know, pertaining to the book of Ezekiel, the 5th chapter, the names of the lands are the people before the place. So when we speak of Jerusalem, it was a people before the place. When you speak of Edom, it was a people before a place. You see? So whenever the Lord talks about Jerusalem, he's talking about his people. Just like he calls them Zion. You know, in the Hebrew, that's to Zion, a mountain of remembrance, the city of Zion. The city is not an actual city, it's talking about the people. Verse 5, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. Which means if you don't have that mark of exemption, you're as good as dead. You're going to get destroyed, point blank, period. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. So there goes for you females, you know, pertaining to Israel, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You women of our nation, you better get it right. Pertaining to the book of Isaiah, the 32nd chapter, you better arise, ye women that are at ease, you careless daughters. You know, because Jacob's trouble is going to pick up and intensify. The majority of the 2/3 is going to get put down out here is going to be women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. And you know, the ancient men before the house is talking about the elderly. Point blank period. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get this as well. Because the Heavenly Father is starting to, for lack of a better word, how would you put it? Put his stamp on Babylon. Yeah, just letting his wrath go through. And to be perfectly honest, whenever the Lord is angry, that's the key. He commits death, judgments of death to appease his wrath. This is the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 36, verse 15. And the Lord power of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. But they mocked the messengers of the Most High and despised his words and misused his prophets, until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, till there was no remedy. Therefore he brought upon them the king of the Chaldees, who slew their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary, and had no compassion upon young men or maiden, old man, or him that stooped for age. He gave them all into his hand. Yeah, this is talking about the time when Israel was going off in Babylon. And the beauty, and as you can see, Chaldeans, the Lord gave us over to the hand of the Chaldeans. Because, you know, it tells you in the book of Psalms, the 17th chapter, that the wicked is the Lord's sword. So whenever Israel goes off, the Lord uses Esau to chastise us, you know, for those that can receive it. You know, I just brought that out to bring this out, and I'm gonna close, because all this is judgment from the Heavenly Father. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 39, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. So as you can see, the Lord created these spirits for vengeance. And right now, he's in the time of visiting the world in which he made, pertaining to the book of 2nd Ezra. And in the meaning of visitation, when you hear the word visit, when you look it up, it also means to punish and to judge. So the Lord, being the ultimate judge of all heavens and earth, from being the creator of all heavens and earth, he's judging the place. So out here for the noise, as you can see, Satan will be a goddamn demon. But that's basically the lesson. Death to this nigga. The 2/3 nigga that's driving that sanitation truck or street sweeper, whatever the fuck you want to call that. Excuse my French. Matter of fact, let me get another preset before I close, because that's the spirit. You know, if you don't want to hearken into the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father, that's not a problem. You just got to disappear off the earth. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 13. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. Yeah, there you go. The law of the wise is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. Yeah, that's talking about the scriptures, you know. So the Lord's willing, you was edified, like give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Hava Kakabash, double honors to the apostles, the elders, the great millstone, shalom to the elect.